Hello students. Last time we studied about the reactivity of acids and bases and about the salt. Three types of salts are there: acidic salts, basic salt and neutral salts. Today we learn about the next point, that is water of crystallization. Now first activity given for us. Now take some crystals of blue vitriol. Blue vitriol is a common name. Its chemical name is copper sulfate into test tube that is shown in the figure. Add some water. Check there. Add some water in one test tube and shake it. And some questions given for us. First question is given, what did you see? Second, what is the color of the solution form? Third, heat the other test tube on a low flame of a burner and what did you see? Next, what change did occur in color of blue vitriol? What did you see in the upper part of the test tube? Next question is given, when the second test tube, check here, when the second test tube cools down, add some water in it and shake. So again question given for us, what is the color of the resulting solution and what inference, means final result, that is a conclusion, can be drawn from this observation. Clear? Now see the explanation first of all given here. On heating, the crystalline structure of a blue vitriol broke down to form a colorless powder and water comes out. This water was part of crystal structure of a blue vitriol. It is called as water of crystallization. That water molecule was the part of the crystal structure of that substance blue vitriol, and that's why that water molecules are called as water of crystallization. On adding water to the white powder, a solution was formed which had the same color as the solution in the first test tube. From this we come to know that no chemical change has occurred in the crystals of a blue vitriol due to heating. Due to heating, no any chemical change occur in case of blue vitriol crystals. Losing water on heating, blue vitriol breaking down of the crystal structure, losing a blue color and regaining blue color on adding water. This change is called as what? So all these changes are called as a physical changes. Again some activity given for us. Repeat the above activity in case of ferrous sulfate, sodium carbonate, and write chemical equations, but actually this is omitted from our syllabus. Remember, this box is omitted. So whatever the questions given here, I will show the answer on one separate paper. Check here. First question, what did you see? For answer, first answer is here. Check. The crystals of blue vitriol dissolve in water. Second, what is the color of the solution form? Answer is what? Check here, blue in color. The solution form is blue in color. Now third, heat the other test tube and what did you see? So third answer is, on heating, the blue color of the crystal changes. Fourth question, so what change did occur in the color of blue vitriol? Answer of the fourth question, the blue colored crystal turned into white powder. Fifth one, what did you see in the upper part of the test tube? So answer of the fifth one, drops of water were observed in the upper part of the test tube because that water of crystallization evaporate due to heating. Next, when the second test tube cooled down, add some water in it and shake. So what did what is the resulting solution? What is the color of the resulting solution? So answer, the resulting solution is again blue in color. And final seventh question is given, what inference, that is final result, can be drawn from this observation? So final answer is, the inference drawn from this experiment is that no chemical change occur upon heating crystals of blue vitriol. The crystalline nature and color of blue vitriol are due to water of crystallization. On heating, it loses water of crystallization and form white powder. Only physical change such as losing water on heating blue vitriol, breaking down of the crystal structure, and losing blue color and regaining color on adding water were observed. So this is the answer of this first activity. Come back to the first page, that is the page number what, 69. Clear? Next, one more activity given for us. Apparatus given, chemical is given alum. Now procedure. Take a small stone of alum in the evaporating dish. Keep the dish on the tripod stand and heat it with the help of burner. Two questions given for us. First one, what did you see in the dish and what is meant by puff alum? Now, ionic compounds are crystalline in nature. These crystals are formed as a result of definite arrangement of ions. In the crystals of some compounds, water molecules are also included in this arrangement, and that water molecule called as here water of crystallization. The water of crystallization is present in a definite proportion in chemical formula of the compound, and it is indicated in the chemical formula as shown below. Now here two questions asked. What is the first one? What are the properties or characteristics of water of crystallization? First one, crystalline substances contain water of crystallization. Second, the molecule of water of crystallization are part of the internal arrangement of the crystal. And third one, on heating or just by keeping the water of crystallization lost and crystalline shape of that part is lost. So these are the three properties or characteristic of water of crystallization. Next, 2 to 3 mark question asks, what are the examples of water of crystallization? Write their name with formula. So first one is given here, crystalline blue vitriol. Formula is given CuSO4 containing 5 water molecules. So blue vitriol is a common name. Its chemical name is what? Copper sulfate. Second, crystalline green vitriol. Green vitriol is a common name. Formula is given FeSO4 and containing 7 water molecule. Its chemical name is ferrous sulfate. Third example, crystalline washing soda. Washing soda is a common name. Its chemical name is sodium carbonate. Formula is Na2CO3 containing 10 water molecules. And last one, crystalline alum, K2SO4, Al2SO4 thrice 24 water molecule present in alum. That's why it is looking like ice. But that is not ice, that is a alum. Clear? So this question asked in this way in exam. Next one. So I will show the here two questions given for us. Which one? This first and second. I will show the answer on one separate paper. See here. Clear? So what did you see in the dish and what is meant by puff alum? First answer is powdered form of salt is seen in the evaporating dish. After this activity we perform in laboratory. And second, what is meant by puff alum? So on heating, what happen? On heating, alum loses its water of crystallization. It froth and swell, and that is called as what? Puff alum, like a popcorn. Clear all of you? Yes. Come back. Now second page, that is a page number 70. Check there. Ionic compounds and electrical conductivity. Again activity given for us with the help of diagram. Now see up activity. Prepare a solution of 1 gram sodium chloride, that is common salt, in 50 ml water. Take two electrical wires. Connect one wire to the positive terminal of a 6-volt battery, while connecting the other wire to the negative terminal of the battery. Included one switch and one holder with an electric bulb. Now remove the insulating cladding from 3 cm portion of the other free end of the two wires, that is shown in the figure. See here. Take the salt solution in a 100 ml capacity beaker and immerse the uncovered ends of the two wires in it, keeping the wire erect with the help of support in standing position like this shown in the figure. Now switch on the current. Note whether the bulb glows. Repeat the same procedure using solution of 1 gram copper sulfate, 1 gram glucose, 1 gram urea, 5 ml dilute H2SO4, 5 ml NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, in each 50 ml water. Record your observation in a table. Now do not forget to clean a beaker and uncovered part of wires with water every time you change the solution. Clear? So I will show the answers in the form of table of this activity. Clear? Try this on one separate paper. Check here. Now first answer. The bulb glows when the wires are immersed in NaCl, that is sodium chloride solution. And whatever the substance is given for us, bulb glows or not. Now 1 gram copper sulfate solution, bulb glows, yes. 1 gram glucose solution, bulb does not glow. 1 gram urea solution, bulb does not glow. 5 ml dilute H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid solution, yes, bulb glows. And 5 ml dilute NaOH, sodium hydroxide solution, yes, bulb glows. Clear? So here this first one is a salt. Then next H2SO4 is acid and NaOH is a base. Remember, salt, in salts, acids and bases, bulb glows. Come back to our page. Next one. Now use your brain power. Okay, that answer already we discuss. Okay, with which solution did the bulb glows and which solution are electrical conductor? Again I will show the answer on one separate paper. Come back again. Yes, check here. So in first one, in which solution did the bulb glows? Answer. Check the first answer here. The bulb glows in a copper sulfate, dilute sulfuric acid H2SO4 and dilute NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide solution. And second answer, copper sulfate, dilute H2SO4 and NaOH solutions are electrical conductors. That is a given. Already explained in previous answers here. In which solutions bulb glows, that are electrical conductors. Clear all of you? Next, come back. Yeah, here. See the explanation. Now the bulb glows only when electric current passes through it. Clear all of you? And this can happen only when the electric circuit is completed. In the above activity, the circuit is found to be complete when the aqueous solutions of NaCl, CuSO4, H2SO4 and NaOH are used. It means that these solutions are conductors of electricity. Remember. Now electrons, underline, electrons conduct electricity through electrical wires, and ion conducts electricity through a liquid or a solution. Now electrons leave the battery at the negative terminal, complete the electric circuit and enter the battery at the positive terminal. When there is a liquid or a solution in the circuit, two rods, wires or plates are immersed in it. These two rods or two wires or two plates immersed in that solution called as electrodes. So mark the definition of electrodes. Electrodes are usually made up of conducting solid. So define electrodes. I will show the answer. Check here. What do you mean by electrode? Define electrode. So answer is this. Already we read this paragraph, read these lines. Next, define cathode. Mark the answer. The electrode connected to the negative terminal of a battery by means of a conducting wire is called cathode. Next one, define anode. The electrode connected to the positive terminal of a battery by means of a conducting wire is called as anode. Remember. So these are the answers. Why does the electric circuit get completed on immersing the electrodes in certain liquids or solutions? In order to understand this phenomenon, let us look more closely at the solution in the above activity, which were found to be electrical conductors. So dissociation of ions and electrical conductivity. Last paragraph on this page number 70. In the above activity, it was found that the aqueous solutions of the compounds NaCl, CuSO4, H2SO4 and NaOH are electricity conductors or electrical conductors. Out of these, NaCl and CuSO4 are salts. These two chemical substances are salts. Next one, H2SO4 is a strong acid. NaCl and CuSO4 are salt. H2SO4 is strong acid. NaOH is a strong base. We have seen that. So salts, strong acids and strong bases dissociates almost completely in their aqueous state. Means formation of ions. Separation of ions. Therefore, the aqueous solution of all these three contain large number of cations. Cation means positive ions. Anion means negative ions present. Next. A characteristic of the liquid state is the mobility. Mobility means move of its particles, mobility of the particles. Due to this mobility, the positively charged ions means cations in the solution are attracted towards the negative electrode. Negative electrode means cathode. Remember this word. So in short, cations attracted towards cathode and move towards the cathode. On the other hand, negatively charged ions means anions move in the direction of anode. Anode means what? Anode means what? The positive electrode. Is it right or wrong? Check here. Read carefully. Positive electrode means anode. So anions attracted towards anode. Now this movement of ion in the solution towards the respective electrodes amounts to the conduction of electricity through the solution. From this, you will understand that, underline the last two lines, those liquids or solutions which contain a large number of dissociated ions, separated ions, conduct electricity. Clear all of you? That is shown in the figure, that the dissociation of ions means separation of positive negative ions. Next one, electrolysis. Now again activity given for us. Try this. Now see the procedure. Take a solution of 1 gram copper sulfate in 50 ml water in a 100 ml capacity beaker. That is shown here. Clear? This blue color solution, 100 ml, this capacity beaker is shown. Use a thick plate of a copper as a anode. Anode means positive electrode, and carbon rod as a cathode means negative electrode. See here. Copper act as a positive electrode, carbon act as a negative electrode. Arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure and pass the electric current through the circuit for some time. So question given for us, do you see any changes? In the above activity, copper appears to have deposited on the portion of the cathode immersed in the solution. One more question given for us, how did this happen? So I will explain these two questions on one separate paper and some little explanation given in this paragraph. Now see here. When an electric current started flowing through the circuit, the cation means positive ions, that is a copper ions, in the solution got attracted towards the cathode. Cathode means negative electrode. So positive ions attracted towards negative electrode. In short, cations attracted towards cathode. So copper atom are formed when the electrons coming out from the cathode combine with copper ions. A deposit of a copper appeared on the cathode. That rod is looking like a brown, because copper, original color of copper is like a brown. Even though copper ions in the solutions were used up in this manner, the color of the solution remains the same, because while electric current was on, electrons were removed from the copper atom of the anode and sent to the battery through the electric wire. The copper ions formed in this manner enter the solution. In this way, the deposition of the solute in the solution took place due to electric current. This process is called as electrolysis process. There are two parts in the electrolysis process. These are the cathode reaction and anode reaction. The two parts of the electrolysis process that takes place in the above activity as shown in below. So we are writing the cathode reaction and anode reaction. What happened at cathode? Cathode means negative electrode. So positive ions present in aqueous state. Why two positive charges form? Because copper loses 2 electrons. That's why adding 2 electrons, and this copper deposited at cathode in solid state in the form of particle, in the form of layer. Anode reaction, anode means what? Positive electrode. So what happened at anode reaction? Copper in a solid state loses the electrons. So copper forming again in the form of copper forming copper 2 plus ions in aqueous state and losing 2 electrons. So in this way, cathode and anode reaction we are writing. If question related to us, electrolysis process asked in the exam. Clear? So I will explain these two questions. This first one and one more. How did this happen? I will explain these two answers on one separate paper. Check here. Same. Yes, take a solution of 1 gram copper sulfate. Yes. So first question, do you see any change? So answer of this first one here. Clear? Check that. A thin film of copper metal is seen to be deposited on the portion of carbon cathode immersed in the solution. However, there is no change in the color of the solution. And second question is given here. What is second question? Check. In the above activity, copper appeared to have deposited on the portion of the cathode immersed in the solution. How did this happen? Now see the answer here, number 2. The electrons from the cathode obtained with the copper 2 plus ions from the solution forming copper atoms, which were then deposited on the cathode. So this is the answer that is shown in the figure also. Check here what happened. Clear all of you? Now come back to page number 72 in our textbook. Page number 72, check here. Yes. Now here some part is omitted. Which part is omitted? That you mark in your textbook. Page number 72. Yes. These two boxes are omitted from our syllabus. If you are interested, then visit to this website and collect more information. Now see the next explanation given here. If a pure water, right now, if a pure water is used in an electrolytic cell, current does not flow even on passing on the switch. From this, we learn that, underline, pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. Through the pure water, electric current does not flow. It shows that pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. Underline that. And we have already seen the reason behind this. The concentration of hydrogen H plus and OH minus ions formed by the dissociation of water is very low. Only 1 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 7 mole per liter for each ion. That's why that is very less. And however, the electrical conductivity of water increases on mixing a small amount of salt or a strong acid or a base in it due to their dissociation, and then electrolysis of water takes place. Otherwise, pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. Clear all of you? Next. Last point of this lesson, electrolysis of water. What is the activity given for us? Now check that. Dissolve 2 grams salt in 500 ml pure water. Take 250 ml of this solution in a 500 ml capacity beaker that is shown here. Now connect to electrical wires to the positive and negative terminals of a power supply. Remove the insulating cladding or cover from about 2 cm portion. At the other ends of the wires. These are the act as the 2 electrodes. Fill 2 test tube up to brim, means side of the test tube, brim with the prepared dilute salt solution. Now invert them on the electrodes without allowing any air to enter in the test tube. So be careful if you are inverting this to test tube over that 2 electrode wires. Now start the electric current under 6 volt potential difference from the power supply, not from. Spelling mistake is here. From the power supply. Observe what happened in the test tube after some time. So what do you observe in this figure? After some time, we are completely filled both the test tube with the salt solution. So here some empty spaces occur. This is a negative electrode. This is a positive electrode. Clear? So exactly you compare this gap and this gap. So in this test tube number 1, and I am showing here, in test tube 1, that space is a double as compared to space created in test tube number 2. So see there questions given for us. Did you see any gas bubbles forming near the electrode in the test tube? Are these gases heavier or lighter than water? And are the volumes of the gases collected over the solution in the 2 test tubes the same or different? Some question given on next page. That is a question number here. Change this number 4 and 5. Now test the solution in the 2 test tubes with litmus paper, and what do you see? And repeat the activity by using a dilute sulfuric, H2SO4 means sulfuric acid, as well as dilute NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, as the electrolyte instead of salt. Now this research work is omitted from our syllabus. Clear all of you? Remember this. Now see this little explanation given here on this page, and then I will explain all that 5 answers on one separate paper. So it is found in the above activity that volume of the gas formed near the cathode, means negative electrode, is double that of the gas formed near the anode. Scientists have shown the hydrogen gas is formed near the cathode. Underline which gas is formed at the cathode? Hydrogen. And oxygen gas near the anode. Remember, hydrogen and oxygen gases form at cathode and anode respectively. From this, it is clear that electrolysis of water has taken place and its constituent elements have been released or separated. The concerned electrode reaction shown as below. Cathode reaction, so two molecules of water in liquid state plus two electron then to form hydrogen in gaseous state and two hydroxide ions present in aqueous state. Anode reaction, two water molecule in liquid state then to form oxygen in gaseous state, that is liberated at cathode, four hydrogen ions in aqueous state and four negatively electron form in case of anode reaction. Clear all of you? So this is the last part of this lesson. Then afterward exercise, which question you solved in your homework, I will explain later on. I will explain that 5 questions related to this activity on one separate paper. Now check that here. All that 5 questions. So what is the question and answer? Now check here. Did you see the gas bubble forming near the electrode in the test tube? First question. Now first answer here. Yes, gas bubbles can be seen forming near the electrode in the test tube. Second, are these gases heavier or lighter than water? So already in that activity, both the test tubes are inverted. It shows that these gases are underlying lighter than water. Third question, are the volumes of the gases collected over the solution in the two test tubes are same or different? So already vacant places, empty places are different. That is shown in the figure. Therefore, the answer of the third question, the volume of the gases collected over the solution in the two test tubes are different. The volume of the gases formed near the cathode is a double. That twice means double the volume of the gas formed near the anode. Fourth one, test the solution in the test tube, in the two test tube with the help of litmus paper. And what do you see? Now see the answer of this. The solution in the cathode, what happened here? Turns red litmus blue. Red litmus blue means that whatever present in that test tube at the place of cathode, that is a basic in nature. While solution in the anode turns blue litmus red, anode means positive electrode, so that solution present at anode, that is turns blue litmus red, means that is acidic in nature. And last one, repeat the same activity by using the dilute sulfuric acid or dilute sodium hydroxide as an electrolyte. Now see the answer of this last option. When the above activity is repeated using the sulfuric acid and dilute sulfuric acid and dilute sodium hydroxide solution, hydrogen gas is liberated at the cathode while oxygen is liberated at the anode. Same observation we observe. Therefore, the reaction is similar to that of the electrolysis of water. So, this is the answer of these activity questions given in our textbook. So, in this way, our lesson number 5, acid, bases and salts over. Carefully you see the video, whatever the question answers given in this video, and in assignment try to complete. What is the first question? Define water of crystallization. What are the properties of water of crystallization? Write the example of water of crystallization with name and molecular formula. Some definitions: define electrolytes, electrode, cathode, anode, electrolysis. And from the exercise questions, solve these questions in homework. All the answers related to this assignment number 17. All answers I will give in our assignment solution. So, in exercise questions, you solve question number 1, all options, 2, 3, question number 5, 6, 8, 10, A, C, F. In question number 10, A, C, F, check that. Remaining already we solved in previous assignment. Question number 11, B and C. Now already first one is already we write that distinguish acids and bases in previous assignment. And question number 12. question number 7 and 9, and whatever the project given in our exercise, that is what omitted. Clear all of you? So in this way our lesson number 5, that is acid, bases and salts, over here. All of you getting? Thank you.